Hi everyone, it's Tammy, and we are going to do a card for our exclusive card club members. Thank you so much for being a member of one of my clubs. This card is specifically for the Birthday Blooms Stampin' Club, and everyone in that club received this stamp set this month, and it is just a gorgeous stamp set. I really like it, and we are going to do kind of a fun card today. And we have a piece of Whisper White cut into an A2, so it's cut at 5.5 by 8 and then scored at 4 1/4, so it's a side opening card. And then we have a piece of 4 by 5 1/4 designer series paper. This is from the Birthday Bouquet series, and on one side it's this pretty blue flower, and on the other side it's this pretty green pattern. We're going to use both sides for this project. I also have a piece of paper of, this is Pool Party, and it is cut at 3.5 by 2. And then I have a piece of Whisper White cut at 2 3/4 by 1 3/4. That's going to rest on top of that. I have another piece of this designer series paper. It is cut at 1.5 by 4.5. And it's going to be a little tag that we're going to put like right here. I suppose if you wanted to change it up, you could do something like this, which would be just perfectly fine too. I just love this pattern paper, so I want to see as much of the flowers as I can. And then we also have a scrap piece of the Pool Party and a scrap piece of Whisper White that we're going to punch. And the ink that I'm going to use today, I haven't even gotten that out yet. I think we will use Pool Party, and we will use the black archival ink. And we also need some ribbon or baker's twine. I'm using the baker's twine. I have Pool Party, or this might be Bermuda Bay, and then I have Blushful Bride, and I think that this is maybe the Mint Macaroon, or maybe it's Pear Pizzazz. I'm not exactly sure. I don't remember. And then they don't have the names on them after you take them out of the paper. So unfortunately, I don't know the names, but we're just going to use all 3 of these because I thought that they were pretty. And they all match with the colors in the Birthday Bouquet. And then I also have one of these cute little bow clips, which I love. And I have some dimensionals that I'm not sure if I'm going to need, but I might. I think I will, actually. I will use the dimensionals. And then some tape, of course. And I'm going to be using 3 different punches for this card. 2 of the punches are retiring. This is the 1 1/4 inch circle, and this is the 1 1/2 inch scallop. So these are both retiring. And then we're going to be using the bookmark tag punch. I don't know exactly what this is called, but I think it's the bookmark tag. And it has a 2-inch opening here. So we're going to go ahead and use this first. So it's the same way as the other punches. You just push that down. Now the punch opens so that you can use it. We're going to stick this piece of Pool Party in. It's a tight squeeze because I have this about the exact same size. And I'm just going to watch in the back to make sure that it goes to the top. You can push it all the way to the top, but I'm just going to get it just a little bit shy of the top and punch. So that looks like that. Isn't that cool? And I'm going to go ahead and do my other punching as well, just to make sure I don't mess up those papers and get them mixed up. Oh, I need to cut this down because now it doesn't fit. So this is the 1 3/4. I think 2 3/4 will work. I think this is just too big. 2 3/4, yes, it should work. So what I said was correct. I just forgot to cut my paper back down. Yes, that works perfectly. So now with this one, I'm going to cut the circle, 1 1/4 inch circle. And with this one, I'm going to cut the 1 1/2 inch scallop. And now I am done with my punches. And then with this piece of paper, I am going to make a notch. And to do that, you just cut halfway, or in the middle, as far up as you want. So I just cut halfway between each side, or it's just in the middle or close to the middle. And then you cut from each corner to the top of your, where you cut it, and it makes a nice notch. And it helps make sure that your notches stay symmetrical. So that works out pretty well. Get my trash out of the way. And then you're also going to need more Whisper White, just scratch paper of Whisper White to actually do your stamping on. And I'm going to use this cute single stamp from the collection. And that's pretty funny that I forgot to include that, but I did. Okay, so I'm taking my, well, that's okay. I'm taking my Misty. And I'm just going to stamp this on here twice, so you can do it however you want, but I'm just going to do it sideways so that I get it all on there. And then I'm going to move this over. I'm going to clean this off. And I'm going to get the, let's see, which one will even fit on this 1 1/4 inch. What does that say? Dear friend. I don't know how much of that will stick on there. The cute little things would be lost. Or I can get one of the things on there and the other one is lost. I think that's what I'll do. And I'll use a block for this. And I will do this in the black. I think I want to do it in black, or do I want to do it in Pool Party? Yeah, we'll do it in black. Dear friend, and I want to get all of that on there and some of that. So I am just, let's see how that did. Oh, I need to scooch over a little bit, so I'm going to turn it over. There, that's good. Now, we're going to color these before we punch them out, or before we don't have a punch to punch them out. We are going to fussy cut these, which just means cut close to the edge on all of these. So we're going to fussy cut those. This is going to go here, and I think I'll use dimensionals to do that, to just pop dot that a little bit. I think just one in the middle will do it. There you go. That's cute. So that's ready. And then I'm going to go ahead and get this started. I'm taking my Designer Series paper, and I'm just going to put that down in the middle of my card base. And then I'm going to take my tag, or this isn't the tag, this is the banner maybe. And I'm going to put that over here down like that. Now this I can go ahead and put down, I think, unless I want to stamp it a little bit. I think I want to stamp this a little bit. So get out a piece of scrap paper so that you can stamp it a rooski. And I would suggest using this flower and the dots and your block, and get your pool party. I'm going to do the flower and the pool party. And I'm just going to stamp around to make it a piece of cardstock that, you know, has personalized, I guess, designer paper. That's what we'll call it. Personalized designer paper. And then I'm going to take my dots, and I think I will use macaron. And that looks good. Clean off my stamp. Close my pad. Okay, so I guess I can close this one. No, I want to leave this one open because I'm going to do this thing to it so that we get some ink in the lid. And actually I need the mint macaroon too. And I already have some ink in the lid for that one. And I'm going to use my aqua painter again because I loves it. And I am going to paint these flowers. And the way I like to do it when I'm doing my aqua brush is I kind of paint the darker spots that I know I want darker. I kind of go over those first with the full-on color, but then I just kind of pull the color all around, and then I go back to the areas that I know I want darker. And sometimes you need to wait for it to dry a little bit before you can actually see what it's going to turn out looking like, because sometimes the colors dry a lot differently than they look like they might. So I'm just pulling in a little bit more just at these places that I think it would be a little darker. And honestly, on this card, I used mint macaron and the pool party, and I can't really tell too much of a difference. So I think instead of mint macaron on this stem here, well, I might start with that. I think I might pull out a different green too, but let's see how it's looking. Well, I guess if I get it really dark, it looks different. And like I said, sometimes they dry differently, so we shall see. Okay. You know what else you can use for an aqua brush is your Wink of Stella. And that will just give it a fabulous glitter. Let's just try it a little bit to show you. So I'm just doing those veins in the sleeves with the Wink of Stella, and I think you can see. Isn't that cool? Just gives it such a beautiful coloring. And then you can do the same thing where you just wipe it to make sure it's clear, and there you go. And then I just like to do this to the edge to make sure that it's not all flailed out when I'm putting it away. So that's just an option, just so you guys know. And I'm thinking that I might get you guys, I was thinking about doing the aqua brushes, but they are pretty pricey, and I would highly recommend them, but they're like $17 for 2. So that's a little over my budget to, for, you know, giving you guys little goodies for your monthly. But I might do the Wink of Stella. That is about $7 or $8, but I might do that maybe in the next thing just because I have stuff in this one. So if you don't have one, just kind of count on getting one, just so you know, you Stampin' card members. So now I'm going to cut these out, and just so you other card members aren't upset, maybe I can work out a discount deal. I will look into my stuff and offer a discount deal for the Wink of Stella. But the Stampin' card members, they get everything they need to make some cards, and then I give them some extras. And if you guys are interested in that club, it is the most expensive club that I have, and it's $55 a month. So it is pretty pricey, but you get a stamp set with every order. So it's a great way to build up your collection. And I am just fussy cutting these flowers out. And I don't know if you guys can notice, but I try not to move my scissors too much. You do move them a little bit, but for the majority of the cuts and the angles, I move the paper. It's just so much easier that way. So just kind of keep that as a hint. You will be so glad that you do that, because you'll find that it's a lot easier to cut that way, even though it seems kind of, at first, at least it did for me, it seemed kind of like the opposite of what I wanted to do, because I wanted to get clean, smooth cuts, but this actually makes it so much cleaner and smoother. You have a lot more control with it this way than you do if you try to cut it out like this with your, you know, and try to do something like this. This is so much cleaner and smoother. So I'm just clipping that off, and then I'm going to clip this off because it's way easier to cut without all of the extra paper. So I hope that you guys are enjoying your clubs, and I'm going to make some monthly, at least my plan is right now, to make some monthly card like kits to demonstrate and to sell. So those will be open to anyone, and they won't be any sort of commitment. It'll just be a, hey, we're going to do this. I'd like to do it live. I'm trying to figure out how to do some live streaming, so that is my plan. And of course, you guys will be the first to know. And I'm thinking about opening a Facebook page, but right now I'm so new at this still, and there's only a few of you, which makes me sad, but I don't mean to sound like there's not too many of you, but there's really not yet. We're getting there. But I don't want to open a Facebook page quite yet. I thought I'd wait until I have a few more people to add. And you guys are my premier people, being the first one, so I really appreciate you very, very much. Now, I don't know if I told every club member, but the Stampin' Club members, I offer them a discount on certain things, and like I just said, I could do a discount for the Wink of Stella for you guys. I could also do discounts on like glue and such, and I have like a package of glues that I offer, and I will include that in your PDF, so be sure to look at that. And the special that I'm offering will change every month. So I will probably always offer the glue one, just because I know that you guys can run out, and I want you to be able to get it a little discounted. And then the Wink of Stella I'll have at a discount. I'll have to look to see how much it is and figure out how much I can discount it, so that you guys will be able to get that. And you know, I'll just do things like that periodically, well, every month. And I'm just going to cut a couple lengths of each color. I guess I should put this tape back on it, because Lord knows I don't want this all flailing around in my bag o' string. Cutting them all about the same length. And then I need to cut 3 of one of them, so I'm going to cut 3 of this green one, just because that's the last one that I'm cutting. One, 2, 3. Oh, that's all right for now. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take all of these and we're going to try to shove them through that hole in this. So I stuck that down onto this, our made background, and then I'm going to put these through. There we go. And then I'm just going to raise it up. Then I'm going to take this green one, I'm going to pull all these up tight, and then I'm going to tie this really tightly around. And then I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to just give it a haircut so that they're all about the same length. And you know what I should have done is put that knot in the back, but I didn't. So, oh well. And then I'm going to take dimensionals and I'm going to put them on the back of this bookmark. I call it a bookmark because that's what it is to me. I mean, doesn't that look like a bookmark? So I guess you could even, you could make it so that they could reuse it. But I'm dimensionaling this one down, so there. Okay, I want to make sure I got them all off. So I'm going to put this, and I'm going to put this down here. So I want to see where I can put this about right there. And then I'm taking my pretty little flowers with the lovely wink of Stella, and those are going to go on here, something like that. And to put these on, I'm going to use my fine tip glue. Love this glue. This was new in the Occasions catalog. I guess they had it before and then they brought it back. I don't know why they'd ever get rid of it because it is wonderful. And it did make it to the annual catalog, so it will be in there. And then I'm going to stamp this one, or stick this one down, but I am not putting it on the end of this stem because I could see it was going to stick off. And what I might do is put it on this, like that. Yeah, I think I will. So I'm going to glue this down too, why not? And then I'm going to just glue this down. Whoops, I got some on me. Just because I think that looks cool. And then last but not least, I'm going to take my little bow, and let's see, where can I put this? I actually think I might stick it here underneath this. Just like so. That is adorable. I really like this card. So this is our third and final card. Yay! Very cute, very cute. I say so myself. Thanks, Clubbies.